Finish him. Leatherface wins.
That governments and corporations are desperate to business. Problem 8, slow settlement and counterparty risk. International wire.
Round 1, fight.
Create space. It's 2 to 3 days to your site.
Round 2, fight. That's verifiable. You don't have to trust a counterparty. You can verify them. Leatherface wins.
This is the Fed model. The Fed issues base money and backstops banks. Commercial banks multiply base money through fractional reserve lending, creating credit that becomes deposits, charging
Tribal.
Now comes Ripple Stack alongside that. Direct impact has transparency.
Leatherface.
KYC, auditable settlement, makes the black box. Direct impact hash 2, liquidity without leverage. Provably backed instant settlement reduces the need to borrow bank IOUs for cross-border movement. Direct impact hash 3.
Round 1, fight.
Tokenized. Impact hash
instance, murky water crystals. That's fairly
Triborg wins.
And morally indefensible if a full reserve settlement is available. This doesn't guarantee overnight collapse, it's a trajectory. Nations move toward ledger bilateral trade.
Round 1.
Stable
Fight.
legislation forces
The Cypher Initiative lives on. Round 2. Fight.
Obviously, that's all of it. Really spiritually. It goes down the wisdom of the world. And already, that just like those two words in itself, that's enough.
Final round.
Going back hundreds of years anyway, you don't understand what you're saying. You're reversing the you have to change your meaning for the thing. This is not a big deal. This tricky is right. Curiosity. Yeah. You want to do that? Yeah. Have the satisfaction for the back. Can't die in the ground. It's always in addition to that, they you realize how powerful you are. They aren't. Where have you gone? This right. Master of none? Yeah.
Target head damage.
My bad is yeah. Ready? Jack of all trades, master of none, though often better than a master of one. That's the real saying.
Triborg
Is the
wins.
the other side. Yeah, we've been living in this world where we are literally teaching our children a lie every time.
Quiero utilizar la campaña de la administración Biden sobre el tema del tren de Aragua. Yo sobre eso tengo una posición muy clara. Le digo al presidente Donald Trump, con respeto, pida los informes de los últimos 4 años del FBI y la DEA, de las oficinas en Colombia, para que ustedes vean,
Faction battle.
presidente Trump, quiénes financiaron, quiénes movieron, quiénes dirigieron al famoso tren de Aragua. Quienes lo llevaron a Colombia, quienes lo llevaron a Estados Unidos.
Erica Cohen's financial minister Jeffrey Epstein
Faction
finally
battle.
be exposed. In the rich
Challenge
media,
accepted.
everybody circling the wagons, demanding that we stop asking questions. They want this very fast. But some they
Johnny
push us to
Cage.
play. The clearer evidence that Erica's past isn't just murky or misunderstood. It's been meticulously sorted, written, and sealed off from public view. But the documents leaked this week change everything. Because her strange relocations, Romania, China, and the US, were never random. Her parents' defense lawyer policy is one of foreign investment hospitals, unprecedented. It's been a global toxic network she inherited. It's not straight up. It's literally all is terrifying. It's the actual it's the interesting one part. It's not the truth about the place.
Round two. Fight.
That's where the good story is.
The only one that's close to orphanages in Eastern Europe around TPUSA. Erica Kirk herself is another one. She's been tied to orphanages in Eastern Europe, specifically in Romania, through a program called Romanian Angels, since she was a teenager. When she was 17 years old, she founded Romanian Angels as a nonprofit. So in effect, since Erica's childhood, she's been running orphanages in Eastern Europe, a child trafficking hotbed. Is that normal activity for a 17-year-old girl to be involved with? Of course it's not. But when your father is a high-ranking member of the military-industrial complex linked to Israel's Iron Dome and American arms sales to the pariah state, and when your mother is geofencing and data mining, and she's a propagandist who's tied directly to the Israeli Foreign Affairs Ministry, maybe hanging around orphanages really isn't all that unusual.
And there's more. Another coincidence to add to this growing list. Erica Cohen's lengthy resume includes references to a part-time career as a realtor. In fact, she's active right now, working part-time for Elite's Corcoran Group. And guess who the Corcoran Group was entrusted
King
to
of the
now?
Hill.
Jeffrey Epstein's multi-million-dollar properties in New York, in Florida, and in New Mexico. Yeah, wow. But it gets even worse. New evidence is surfacing that Israel had been spying on Charlie Kirk's daily operations, and through him, on the rest of conservative America. Sources familiar with the investigation reveal that Israeli intelligence gained access to Kirk's communications via Mossad backdoors, allowing them to see everything he was working on, every email, every message sent and received, and to sweep up the personal data of everybody who had any contact with Turning Point USA and its network of apps and online portals. And it gets even darker. According to multiple researchers, all signs now point to a larger operation. Israel and the global elites using Turning Point USA as a Trojan horse to spy on tens of millions of Americans. At the center of this digital web is a network of apps tied to Turning Point USA. Evidence shows these were developed by Super Big Technologies Incorporated, a foreign for-profit company with extremely murky global ties. The fine print reveals these apps are sharing your personal information, including user IDs, device and other IDs, your location, including your precise location at any given time, and all app interactions, all comments or opinions, or behavior online. Every click monitored, logged, and used to build a profile on you. If you've had any contact with these apps, I hope that your personal details were protected. I hope you got anonymized. Head to big.net/TPV to see how you can disappear from their systems. Before they decide what to do, because when you understand the nature of the people we're dealing with, we understand they could then physically massacre us. When you understand the coordinate process, each is not enough.
So we have to fight for the weapons that apply to the battlefield. And the most important ones are the social.
Ready to go down the rabbit hole? Here's the shocker.
Round one. Fight.
It's none other than the US leaders by the mouth, and the systems. It's been otherwise essence. But the revelation don't stop there. In an even bigger shock, Erica becomes unbelievable defensive. There was no question trusting to manage. That's why it's
Round two. Fight. Scorpion
She urges
wins.
her followers to consume mainstream news exclusively, insisting that anything outside that bubble is dangerous.
Pay your respects.
Something that must never be allowed into your mind.
There is a total temptation to want to go down the dark web and conspiracy theory message boards. If you don't and choose to get your news and current event information from a different news and alternative source, that doesn't make you unenlightened. We only have 24 hours in every day. That's it. There's no rollover minutes when it comes to life. And that time is so precious. So is what you're watching, what you're reading, filling your free time with, is it really
Leatherface.
close to the price? Or is it solely for their
Sub-Zero.
Is it solely for and are you allowing someone else to interpret your world for you? And you might say, yeah, but knowledge is power, isn't it? Or is doing what God commands from us the actual power?
Then Erica gets a chance to twist scripture again.
Round one. Fight.
Don't exist. But her followers should always accept the official narrative and never question anything.
The devil's favorite weapon. So when you notice that the fear is rising up, some practice with man carry this with you. Does Jesus tell us in Scripture hidden agendas? No. Okay, so then what does Jesus say? Jesus says in Matthew chapter 24, Matthew chapter 25, and 26, he I'm not afraid of rumors.
It's almost like she's part of a global conspiracy herself. And it's just warming up to raise the stakes even higher. Think the healthiest thing in your pantry right now is pricing the food. Well, it's actually olive oil. Yeah, that bottle you've got sitting in your cupboard isn't just a cookie. It's a weapon to help you look and feel younger, inside and out. No big pharma potions, just nature's real deal. Dr. Stephen Gundry, a rogue surgeon who's done with the system, says high quality olive oil is a game changer. The problem is the industry is acceptable. Nearly all brands in stores are watered down the junk, pushed for profit, not your health. Dr. Gundry has had enough. He's exposing the real truth about olive oil with a free video for viewers on this channel. He'll show you how to spot the real stuff that works wonders for your body with just a few tablespoons. This isn't hype. It's the truth they don't want you to know about. Visit getsolive1.com/TPV. The link's below. I've watched his free video and the information blew me away. If you're genuinely interested in changing your life with olive oil, go to getolive1.com/TPV now. You won't regret it. Here's where it gets real. Epstein isn't dead. His offshore accounts are still moving millions like nothing ever happened. His private email, the only one he's ever had access to, has been active within the last few months. Meanwhile, Ghislaine Maxwell is supposedly serving time, yet somehow doing it in a luxury club-fed setup, complete with an emotional support puppy and personalized yoga sessions. How many more hits do people need before we admit something is very, very wrong with this picture?
She spent years cultivating her image as a Christian philanthropist, but according to Reddit threads and old Romanian forum archives, Romanian angels had ties to a base where minors were allegedly brought in for entertainment.
Around the time that she was claiming to be a casting director, she also owned a ministry that was working with the U.S. military in Romania. The area in Romania where she was operating this ministry had a bunch of locals accusing these evangelical ministries of kidnapping children and taking them out of the country. These children were being found in the UK, in Israel, and were also being sent to undisclosed private islands.
According to our A-level Turning Point USA insider, Erica Kirk wasn't just another name in the conservative principal movement. She was an associate of Jeffrey Epstein in the years before his second death.
Okay, deep breath. I'm only doing this because I've
King of the Hill.
I saw. And don't ask how I got her approach on the Mr. Aspirin. Just know what happened. Real talk. Every single person who's been a Turning Point USA longer than a semester knows the Erica origin story. It's not a rumor, it's just the quiet part. She was like 16, 17, running around Trump pageants in a sash and 6-inch heels. Epstein never missed a finals night. Never. He'd be in the VIP booth with the owner, handing out sponsorship envelopes big enough to choke on. Winners got a crown, a contract, and a plane ticket. Erica won Miss Arizona or whatever it was, then immediately started working the circuit as a recruiter. That's the word they used. Recruiter. By 18, she was already signing as consultant on Epstein's real estate flips. Palm Beach, Zorro Ranch, whatever. 8-figure deals. Cash pouring through Delaware LLCs that all trace back to the same orphan trust slush funds he used to rescue Eastern European girls. Same trusts, same routing numbers. I watched the PDFs myself. She was moving his houses on the massage schedule was still in his pocket. So, yeah, when Charlie died, she showed up at the memorial in perfect black Versace, promising the full Doge audit. Every penny transparent, just like he wanted. We actually believed her for like 10 more seconds. 3 weeks later, email from her personal account, audit, terminated indefinitely. Strategic pivot. The money she didn't want anyone to see. Wires labeled talent relocation. Orphan visa assistance. Private island logistics. Same codes, same banks, same secretaries. Some of those transfers kept running months after he supposedly killed himself. Someone's still ignoring them. And look, I wasn't going to say this part, but the whole 5th floor Slack is on fire about it. Let's just say, if she's pregnant, the father is Jack Posobiec.
If you're digging into dangerous topics, doing real research, asking the questions they don't want asked, you need to protect yourself. You need to stay careful. The threat is real. Your identity, your passwords, your fingerprints, your bank accounts, anything that defines you can be turned into a weapon.
When a clip of button, you can go down victims to their knees. Very likely, if you so desire, and if you're willing to take the risk, because every system can be hacked. Our airplanes, our hospitals, our cars, our banks. Actually, the most important word here is our data banks. They can be hacked.
They use data as leverage. They collect profile compromises, Troy. That's their playbook. Control through exposure. But this time the tables are turning. We know their methods, and we know how to fight back. Head to bp.net/TTP. Real vanishing tools. No logs, no trace, no name. The same stack whistleblowers use when the knock comes at 3 a.m. If you're using a traditional VPN, cancel that subscription right now. Here's what they don't want you to know. The VPN industry has been infiltrated and compromised. Industry leader Proton is funded and controlled by the World Economic Forum and Davos. The same people writing the digital ID laws and building a digital prison for humanity. And many of the most popular VPNs in the world, ExpressVPN, CyberGhost, and private internet access, have been bought out by Cape Technologies, an Israeli company linked to Mossad, whose staff is packed with former cyber intelligence officials. These are the people who are paying to protect your privacy. It's not just a sick joke, it's a punchline. And they're laughing at you. But a breakthrough has arrived. One that changes everything. VP.net was created in 2025, built from the ground up to be verifiable, transparent, and unstoppable. Legacy VPNs say trust us not to log, trust us not to monitor you. VP.net says, then trust us, verified. Unlike legacy VPNs, every connection is protected by a mathematically verifiable cryptographic shield, so no third party, not even VP.net itself, can seal all your data. So if the government comes knocking, and trust me, they do, VP.net has nothing to hand over. No logs, no user data, nothing. Even if somebody put a gun to their head, they'd walk away empty-handed. Head over to VP.net/DPV and see for yourself. It's fast, it's unhackable, and for our viewers, it costs us as little as $5.55 a month. A small price to stay protected, and then be a digital battle. Protect yourself today. Join the movement at VP.net/DPV. And here's the best part. Your membership doesn't just protect you, it helps fund the world's first open source, independently audited privacy network, powered by the people, not corporations. Join the movement at VP.net/DPV. Don't trust, verify.
How to go completely off-grid when you live downtown, protecting and restoring your privacy. Your router bounces RF off of your walls, mapping the inside of your house, and that's exactly how they know exactly where you're standing, what you're talking about, turning things on and off, listening, eavesdropping. This thing right here, metallic copper equivalent, 21%. Hang this on your interior walls and your house when you ghost. So if you want to protect your family from all EMF, RF, and 5G radiation, this composite copper technology from SCRAX is a great workaround. If you can't find that basically online and you want to just go ghost, you'll be absolutely disappear as soon as you walk into your house. Protecting and restoring your privacy and protecting your family.
You guys haven't heard my Sapagio tones. It took me close to 3 years with a sound engineer to create the perfect sounds for the body to heal. You can just type in Google Dr. Group Sapagio tones. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, all that. Just listening to this, that's like 50 minutes or something like that. But just listening to this is the tunes and the sound waves. And by the way, we've proven these are healing with looking at blood before and after on the electron microscope, and it does actually help to disable and alter the nanotech in your body too. So, and that's why I'm talking about the sacred lovemaking, and I'm talking about moving more into energy and vibration, how to enhance your aura, how to feel the vibration of love, how to heal any disease within or any condition within days, sometimes even hours. This is the technology that these guys were using. Very powerful Shanshen technologies, Neigong technologies that Bruce Lee's teacher taught a guy named Steve Gray these type of power techniques of enhancing your energy levels, enhancing your vibration.
Another episode with you where you're going to be sharing a LinkedIn post and you're going to make it make sense, right?
Yes, good morning. Yes.
Good.
We're going to talk today a little bit about if you have a court case. Of course, everybody now at this point knows that if they get jurisdiction behind you, if they open a bid performance and payment bond in your name, which which basically put them into a massive position of trust liability as your fiduciary trustees and doing all the accounting fraud that they're doing. We have a mechanism through the IRS to deal with them when they continue to go down this path of denying the existence of the bonds and then saying that they have jurisdiction when they don't.
Okay, so show us what you got.
What we've got here is everybody is going down this path, whether it's a speeding ticket or foreclosure or any other type of civil court case, even criminal court case for that matter. It's all the same thing. It's all civil, the whole thing. The first thing everybody knows is that you have to pull the CUSIP for the court case, which we can get, and you're going to alert the clerk of the court and the case trustee. Remember, judges are not judges, they are trustees. This whole process is a trust. You basically tell them that you want the gap accounting. You're declaring identity theft, accounting fraud, false statements, and securities fraud. And then you're basically telling them that you want them to turn over the accounting for you, the gap accounting. You want a copy of the bid performance and payment bond because you're calling fraud to them. The interesting thing that ends up happening as soon as you do this, let's just start taking a look at 26 USC 7206. You look at that particular case there, you have fraudulent bonds. There we go. That says that it'll simulate or falsely or fraudulently executes or signs any bond. What do you think they did? They signed your name as the principal on the bond. That's fraud. They're immediately busted. Right? And then when you demand that they really bring the bond forward, that's concealment. That's another felony. You can look at the very bottom. Shall be guilty of a felony upon conviction thereof, shall be fined not more than $100,000. That's for an individual. But if you're not only an individual bar attorney, the individual judge, the individual clerk of the court, with $500,000 in the case of a corporation, the attorneys are all running as like usually LLCs or LLPs. If they're smart, they'll try to limit their personal liability, but their corporation is going to take a $500,000 hit. And the court itself is also a corporation, that's another $500,000 hit. You can see very quickly you're looking at the $1 million plus range. They're actually looking at prison and the cost for a prosecution. Now, the problem that we run into, of course, is that you run into the police or the sheriff's department, they're not going to investigate the people that feed them. The FBI is not going to investigate them, which is why we have to do this to the IRS, Criminal Investigation Division, and the Federal Trade Commission. Because as soon as you claim identity, that investigation has to take place. You're definitely not going to wait for them to do anything for you. They're simply not going to. What you're going to do in the courtroom is you're going to act like the creditor and not the debtor. You're going to basically tax them. You're going to report them. Don't wait for them to correct their crimes because they're not going to. Because as soon as they correct their crimes, it's an admission of the case trust securities, and then you're the grantor, the beneficiary, and the bailer, meaning that you transfer the funds from your minor account back to the bond. As a result of this trust agreement that you have with the court, you have the right to collapse the trust. They are essentially embezzling from you, which is fraud and identity theft, because you did not sign the bonds as the principal. They basically auto-pen your name on that thing. Whoever wrote it basically doesn't have a securities license. They don't have a Series 6, Series 7 license, because if they did, they would definitely be going to prison for doing this. They believe that they're just doing it because that's what they're told to do. For example, here in Hawaii, we know that the courts themselves don't do the accounting. It's actually done at the state level. They have a judiciary accounting office at the controller's office at the state level. That may be very similar to your scenario as well, if you're trying to hunt down who's doing it to you. This is how they basically compartmentalize and be able to drive the entire process, where there's so many different people involved. They don't even know who to ask for this information, which is why they freak out, because the judge knows they're personally liable to go get it. The process is really, you pull a CUSIP, we'll file a 1099-A, correct it against the court with the CUSIP information. You are the creditor, the court is the debtor, and they're responsible to repay the debt. Once the IRS accepts that submission, could take a couple weeks, then you're going to file a 1099-C against the court. Same thing, you're the creditor, they're the debtor, responsible to repay the debt. They have to use the entire full amount. Basically, what you're doing is we're canceling and discharging the security instrument that we're invalidating it. And then if we have to go so forward, you can actually file a 1099-D, and you can transfer the funds back from the court. Technically, you're supposed to call it the B with the actual accounting amount, but we're coming into a point now where the IRS isn't responding to the A's and the C's and the identity theft reports. And it's actually taking them over 2 years to respond. We do actually have an IRS agent that we work with. He can actually walk in directly to the IRS and get the accounting for you, but a lot of this paperwork already has to be filed in advance. In the court, what they want to be able to prove is that you demanded this to be performed by the court, and they refused or they failed to do so. Once they have that evidence, then they actually have the authority to go in and audit for all this nonsense. Some of the forms that you have to fill out are the 1439 affidavit of identity theft. With that packet, of course, you're going to file a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission and complain about identity theft. You're going to let them know that you're claiming identity theft, accounting fraud, 26 U.S.C. 7201, that you're going to do fraud and false statements, 26 U.S.C. 7206, especially if you went into the court and they tried to strike any of your pleadings. Their favorite thing to do is they strike your notice to the court for the demand for accounting, but you can't do it illegally. Essentially, you're just committing fraud, which you can see there under 7206 and securities fraud SEC Rule 10b-5. So you ask me, what's your authority to do this? Let's take a look. 26 USC 671 trust income, right? Deductions and credits attributable to the grantors and other substantial owners. You have to remember, you are the grantor and the beneficiary of this entire process. You own that entire security. That is yours because they put you down as the principal owner on this bid performance and payment bond. That's yours. Mom had Alzheimer's at 78, but today, at 82, she solves crossword puzzles better thanks to spices. And we look at 26 USD 670. Just go ahead and read who are all these people in the process. Adverse parties going on, non-adverse parties, powers, and things like that, grantors, and things of that nature. Who are those people that I described? We got reversionary interest. The grantor shall be treated as the owner of any portion of a trust, which he has reversionary interest. You own the whole thing. It's yours.
Round one.
And you have to give it to you. They're not going to give you accounting, which is part of the entire full belongs to you too. But then 26 beneficial. I'm not going to use my own funds to be able to set up this chart. Right? This is a problem. And all of a sudden, you know, 665, grave powers. And now all of a sudden, you get the world on the bid for you. This one, do not like 676. This is one of the things that we talk about in the most retesting sequence. You're basically revoking that number. And you're revoking the bid from 1281 or collapse. That's your basic range. 26 USC 677, and the grant for which means multi-property interest, rents, etc. Those are on. We're going to take those back to then 1678 versus other grant for treating as a substantial owner. They really they can't take the corpus and the income. They do have some certification. The judge is supposed to help you. If you just roll through all the items that are there, it all belongs to you. And in the end, if you really need to stop this work because it's going to continue their nonsense, I don't know if anybody, you've heard of this before, this is like a really old document that came about 20 years ago, traffic tickets by Don County, where he talked about fading the court process. Fading basically means we're stopping the court process until the accounting is involved. This is your claim for refund and statement. Really what you're going to fill this out, tax them, analyze them, and the case is brought to you. You can demand for a refund for the entire discount fund, which would be 5 plus the account. But in fact, it's saying that you have to get to the point where you're paying the court case, and then the IRS come in and the IRS has to leave the check. Yes, it is insane. It's insane that we even have to go this far, that we even have to know that you have the ability to do this. You're not a bar attorney in the courtroom. You're not a CPA. You're not an IRS agent. They're basically there to just punish the hell out of you And then when you start calling foul, they get all bent out of shape and start treating you like a slave.
The intimidation, people are so afraid to poke this bear. That's why I think the level of education you're giving our members as our Director of Trust Education alleviates that. If you're getting the knowledge and the wisdom to be able to stand confident.
The best part is these are forums that if you just read through them slowly, without expecting you to fill it out perfect, the fact that you even fill this out at all should just scare the living bejeebers out of these people. It's just an administrative form. You can see at the very end here, what are you going to put in and explain why you believe this claim or request should be allowed? I don't know. Let's see, identity theft, accounting fraud, fraud with false statements, all the things that we did talk about, securities fraud. I want my accounting. I want my refund. People are committing fraud. They know they're committing fraud. They basically admitted to it by striking the request for accounting, and it's now it's willful, which means now it's criminal.
They send us notices saying that what we're doing is fraud.
Yeah, we're going to use their forms.
Use their own rules.
That's the point, is we use their own rules, and you just flip through everything that you needed to see. Just flip through all of it. That's all you need to see there. There's nothing really outside of that. We're just going to stick in the trust realm. Remember, as long as you stick in the trust realm, there's strict. There's a trustee.
This ties back to your LinkedIn post. Court case and person.
Right there, Discord. I know we picked are really not that far from the house. It's going to be your name, their name, make sure there's a debtor. We're taking some information in there. I have to put it in something crazy. But for audit, these 70, that's the IRS that or that's going to be on the other side. Yet that right there, student bank from the IRS, and it says audit debtor or fraud listed as the debtor. They're going to break out because they know it's going to make them out. They're actually as the IRS. Why they break out all you must make what it is. Right? You say, hey, you've got accounting fraud, securities fraud, you can turn over these documents. Because if you give it to the house, the county to care of as where it had you better give it right beneficiary they overall. You guys still but entity at this point if you don't turn it over. You just have to stay on the ground. Because they're gonna push you to the nth degree to make you believe that you have to pay and perform. And it's actually their job as the trustees.
For the first 12 months after gun owners in Australia were forced to surrender
another episode with you where you're going to be sharing a LinkedIn post and you're going to make it make sense, right?
Yes, good morning, yes.
Good.
We're going to talk today a little bit about if you have a court case. Of course, everybody now at this point knows that the way they get jurisdiction behind you is they open a bid performance and payment bond in your name, which basically put them into a massive position of trust liability as your fiduciary trustees and doing all the accounting fraud that they're doing. We have a mechanism through the IRS to deal with them, but they continue to go down this path of denying the existence of the bonds and then saying that they have jurisdiction when they don't.
Okay, so show us what you got.
What we've got here is everybody is going.
For the first 12 months after gun owners in Australia were forced to surrender 640,000 guns to the government, they destroyed them. The program cost the government $500 million. After that happened, in the first 12 months, homicides nationwide were up 3.2%. Assaults went up 8.6%. Armed robberies went up 44%. 1911, Turkey established gun control. Later, 1.5 million Armenians unable to defend themselves. 1929, the Union established gun control. And for the next 30 years, 20 million dissidents unable to defend themselves. Rounded up and slaughtered. themselves were exterminated. Guatemala salvaged gun control 1964. In the next 50 years, 100,000 white Indians unable to defend themselves were exterminated. The salvaged gun control 1970. In the next 8 years, 100,000 Christians were murdered. Cambodia established gun control 1956. And from 75 to 77, 1 million educated people, maybe more, unable to defend themselves, rounded up and exterminated. Fixless people around the world, exterminated in the 20th century, about 46 million. Next time someone wants to name a gun control, ask them, who do you want to round up and exterminate? See, with guns, we are citizens. Without guns, we are subjects.
Fatality.
Turning Point is putting on their IRS form that they are sending $1.5 million to this parking lot. Well, I'm sitting here in the parking lot. The business is not here, as far as I can tell. What is going on? I mean, maybe they didn't think that anyone was going to actually drive out here and check it out. But as far as I can tell, the business is not. Turning Point is putting on their IRS form that they are sending $1.5 million to this parking lot. Well, I'm sitting here in the parking lot. The business is not here, as far as I can tell. What is going on? I mean, maybe they didn't think that anyone was going to actually drive out here and check it out. But as far as I can tell, the business is not here. So, my question is, do the Turning Point donors know this is how their money is being spent? That Turning Point is writing on their IRS forms that they're sending $1.5 million to this parking lot. I did some additional checking. Another thing that is strange is that there is no website for 110 LLC. 2 weeks ago, I posted a video about red flags at Turning Point USA. Among the many things I mentioned, Turning Point was missing 3 of the 4 990 forms for their shell companies. Well, guess what? The missing forms have mysteriously been posted, and they are marked that they were filed on May 15th, 2025. So they are claiming that they filed 4 forms, the IRS posted one, held on to the other 3, and for some reason posted them 6 months later when people started talking about it online. Isn't that convenient? But we're not going to dwell on it, because the more important thing is that now we have the missing financials. And you're not going to believe this. It gets even worse. In the 990 groups, you can put a page 8, and each organization must list out their highest paid independent contractors. But it's curious that on the FY24 form, America's Turning Point, Tyler Boyer lists himself as an independent contractor, and he puts his personal address. Now, I'm not doxing anyone here, because it is public information on the IRS form. And I have to tell people, please do not go to Tyler Boyer's house. That is not appropriate. But I will say, if you go to his residence on Google Maps, you will see that he lives in a massive mansion. Now, I'm not going to show it to you out of respect, but you can go see it for yourself. It is mind-blowing. Where is Tyler Boyer getting all this money? What is even more important is the other shell company we mentioned. In FY 2024, their #1 independent contractor is a company called 110 LLC. In fact, this has been one of their largest contractors for the last 3 years. These are all the payments, and they total $1,456,261 over the last 3 years. That's almost $1.5 million. The solution they provide is social and media ad placement. Now, there's also an address for this company. So I thought, let's take a trip and go check this company out. If Turning Point is paying them $1.5 million, it must be doing something really great. The location in Wheat Creek, Arizona. Southern Phoenix. So the address was listed as a decade. And this is strange. This is a strip mall. So I'm going to take a look around and see if I can find the business 110 LLC. Okay.
You
cannot win. All the
Sub-Zero
I've checked all the doors. The business 110 LLC, as far as I can tell, is not here. what is going on? So Turning Point is putting on their IRS form that they are sending $1.5 million to this parking lot. Well, I'm sitting here in the parking lot. The business is not here, as far as I can tell. What is going on? I mean, maybe they didn't think that anyone was going to actually...
Otherwise,
Turning Point is putting on their IRS...
Tribal.
Otherwise, there's chemical trails.
Tribal.
Dropped, sprayed throughout the United States, England, Scotland, Ireland, Northern Europe, and I have personally seen them
Round
not
one.
only in the United
Fight.
States, but in Mexico, and birds are dying, fish are dying by the hundreds. That the imagination is element within our society must be strong. And the number of two occasions the airplanes are that the rapid more than the Japanese airplane crash that the other plane they have no markets in their population, their friends, their relatives, themselves.
CYRAX, how do it?
Okay, hear me out. I said state that's the iceberg. It's safe because the three men standing in the way of the creation of the Federal Reserve. In 1910, 6 men met on Jekyll Island, Nassau. There, they planned the creation of the U.S. Federal Reserve. The Rockefellers were represented by Nelson Eldridge, Frank Henry, Rothschilds were represented by Paul Warner, St. Louis was represented by three niggas, Charles Warren, and there was three more powerful men leaders, Mexican Diamond, Versailles, and Dutch Master, all of those James Morgan of the International Trade for peace and the street called the White Star Line, which built the Titanic. In 1911, Morgan had 2 incidents, and one of these involved the was responsible. The Olympic investigated the crash after the Olympic was involved, because of this they would have failed the White Star Line. And Evans, James Morgan simply Olympic, swapped with the Titanic and sank the ship by was lit and died. All 3 men were standing in the way of the creation of the James Morgan got his payout, and him, along with the Rothschild and Rockefellers, got a centralized banking system controlled by none other than themselves.
Benjamin Netanyahu just declared war on Americans. He said it himself. Social media, your voice, your thoughts, your memes, is now Israel's battleground. That means you are the enemy combatants in their eyes.
Well, we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefield, okay? And the most important of it is social media.
This is not another things are getting bad warning. You are under attack right now. While missiles still fly overseas, the real war has gone fully digital. A cage is being welded shut around every one of us in real time. Algorithms choke dissent, devices are hacked, accounts vanish overnight, personal lives are destroyed, presidents wake up to frozen finances, IRS audits, and the authorities knocking on their door. And a former Mossad chief has just admitted they're manipulating devices in the US as we speak.
You know how many treated equipment we have in these countries? You don't. I do.
You mean booby-trapped equipment?
Not only booby trapped
And spying?
manipulated equipment.
Alright, in which countries are you talking about?
Old countries like America.
And if you still think getting arrested for a meme is just a British problem, wake up. Florida State Rep Randy Fine is already drafting the blueprint right here in America. Legislation that will let Israel demand the arrest and imprisonment of US citizens for social media posts they don't like. He's not hiding it. He's bragging about it, declaring it's definitely happening.
There's no First Amendment right to conduct. There's a First Amendment right to speech, and the things that we're targeting in the bill are not speech. Again, if someone wants to stand across the street from my house and wave a sign on the sidewalk, they have every right to do that. And this bill won't have anything to do with that. But when it veers to the conduct, and so the way we're going to approach this is through a hate crime ticker. So if you graffiti a building, it is a crime now. But if your motivation is hate, it's a third-degree felony. You will spend 5 years in prison. If you want to litter, it's a crime right now. But if you litter, and if your motivation is a hate crime, it will be a third-degree felony. And you'll spend 5 years in jail. It is a crime right now to hang banners from an interstate. For obvious reasons, we don't want to distract drivers. But if you do that, and you have a hate crime, a hate motivation, it will be a third-degree felony. You will spend 5 years in jail. I guarantee the bill will pass. And I never do that.
This isn't coming. It's already in motion. And once that precedent is set, the old VPN policy, because it's already practiced, the entire legacy VPN industry is and runs on like drugs, and controlled by the well-known designing such an express DIA exposed. They monitor patterns. They de-anonymize users by their business. They will admit it in the blueprints. He may pretend a certain data. He will provide the confidence. Translation. The second event any more upon the knock, they hand over your responsibility. And they do repeatedly. Now when they identify you, if they do they can't. They hide. But journalists and scholars and ordinary Americans who refuse to bend the knee, that lie can be the essence. Those obstacles let you get you. Express VPN cyber request and right internet access. No way one is waiting into same thing the notorious the same thing whose leadership is stacked. It's the same thing that enters CYRAX. Millions Americans on behalf of refugees. Edward Snowden's exact words: if you're an ExpressVPN customer, insurance, you pay password to the biggest VPN revenue sites. Once the launch comes, watch the same big like straight internet net. These people say, trust us not to trust us not to rank the goods. 2025, trust is that's why in the middle of this year, a weapon has been created. They can't make it. VPN is advanced plus automatically ground. Trust is privacy shielding. Built from the ground up in 2025. It's to make the trend possible. Including videos. This is a policy issue. It's a national security issue. Because we care about this. Because we know how to urging you to basically it's built inside a secure market. Uses military-grade encryption and stores its yes, really. Zero zilch nada. That means if Big Brother comes knocking, there's nothing to give. No logs, no metadata. If Mossad's Unit 8200 hacked them, it's mathematically cryptographically impossible for them to spy on you. And
Triborg wins.
it's 100% American. No Mossad backdoors. No feds rifling through your DMs. No Israelis stealing your most private information. No compromise. We use it every single day at TPP. When we're digging into the dangerous stories the elites are desperate to bury. And frankly, if you're not locking down your digital life right now, you're walking yourself straight into a digital prison of your own making. Sign up today at vp.net/TPV. From as low as $5.55 a month, and you can finally stop asking, who's monitoring me? Because the answer is they were, but with vp.net, not anymore. Recent events make it clear. Israel has taken off the gloves, and this time, The war is aimed squarely at American citizens. Charlie Kirk wasn't the first.
Is a democracy and is our ally.
Yes, they are.
Explain to me what you see as, why you target or why you have a grudge against the Israelis.
The grudge is not necessarily a grudge. It's an objective assessment that no one will have the courage to speak about. This may be you don't want to hear. I don't know. And I certainly don't want to hurt you on your show. You have one of the best. You're fair. But I believe that Israel has a powerful stranglehold on the American government. They control both members of the House and the Senate. They have us involved in wars in which we have little or no interest. Our children are coming back in body bags. Our nation is bankrupt over these wars. And if you open your mouth, you get targeted. If they don't beat you at the poll, they'll put you in prison. They control much of the media. They control much of the commerce of the country. And they control powerfully both bodies of the Congress. They own the Congress.
Anti-Semite?
No, I'm not. That's exactly what they're going to say. We have a one-sided foreign policy in the Mideast, and we've alienated Arabs who have no way of fighting. So what they've done, and I predicted this on the House floor, is they would export violence to America, and they have. They have no other way to fight.
It's time to say no. Reject the globalist agenda. Reject the podcast. Expel the spies by the
Starting December 16th, Meta posted on every conversation, photo, voice message, fed into AI in Israel. So here's how to stop it. I make this intentionally difficult. Purpose, and you can only answer yes or you cannot. So first, you're going to visit privacycenter.instagram.com. It's going to take you to what you want to do is you click on other policies and articles, and you'll see where it says how Meta uses information for generative AI. Here, and the third option is privacy and AI. Open this, scroll to the bottom, and you'll see it says doesn't use words or not any liquids. Request for information from parties and pages developed. AI is Meta. Click on learn more of this and request here. And this is the point. So you click this, fill out this information here, and send this. This is how you submit to opt-out of Meta using your information to improve their AI service.
This scanner gives you the same data as those $100 DEXA scanners. You put it through and use it every single day. I was 58 when I'm only 45. I've been aging myself faster for years without knowing it. Within 3 months, my metabolic age dropped by 7 years. You want to see in weight changes for muscle or body. My sister lost 8 pounds of fat while gaining 3 pounds of muscle, but her regular scale only showed 5 pounds down. She would have never known she was succeeding without money. It takes just 30 seconds each morning to step on, grab a candle, instantly know what's actually happening instead of guessing on the app. My friends spend $600 $1,200 a year to shoot out the same technology for a fraction of what they say. So if you want to stop guessing and actually track the money making, get your autopilot low. Today's 40% off price and 30-day guarantee. Don't be the woman paying hundreds for occasional scans while your friends track progress every single day. Be the one who owns your health data instead of renting it.
Guys, let me give you the latest on Christian news and what is happening in the world today. China just signed a $37 million deal to deploy industrial-grade humanoid robots at real border crossings. And these aren't just demo robots. These are the Walker S2 humanoids. They are built for 24/7 operation with automatic battery swapping. That's right. They can take their own battery pack out, swap it out with zero downtime. Their job is for crowd control, inspections, logistics, guiding travelers, surveillance, and government-level enforcement. This is only one of many rollouts because China is expanding on what they call embodied AI across factories, public places, and vehicle security. These robots don't tire, they don't question orders, and they do not have a conscience. Experts are even warning that this is a foundation of an AI-run enforcement system to replace human oversight. I want to give you relevant Christian news, not to scare you or put fear in you, but to warn you and to give an awareness of what is happening in the world today. If you feel the same way, share this.
January 19th to January 25th. It begins with dark clouds stretching across the sky like a warning no one can ignore. Then comes the snow. Not ordinary snow, but giant flakes, heavy and sharp, falling faster and faster until entire cities vanish beneath white. Phones stop working, batteries die in the freezing air, and people who step outside feel the cold burn their skin like fire. Even the news anchors, the ones who are supposed to stay calm, stare into the camera with wide eyes and shaking voices. Water pipes burst, internet lines snap, and skyscrapers freeze over, transforming into icy towers that pierce the sky. The world feels abandoned, silent, frozen, and they say only those who are warned can prepare. Only those who speak their names will be spared. The Simpsons predicted it. The storm is coming January 19th to January 25th, 2026. Will you survive the week of ice, or will you be one of the frozen shadows left behind when the snow finally stops falling? Because when the sky turns white and the air turns to glass, it's already too late to run.
Hey, Mary, I'm sorry it took me so long to get back to you. I had to go to work today. Here's the thing, Mary. You want to know why I don't give a shit that Trump called some no-name reporter a piggy? Because it doesn't matter. The media, every Democrat person, every Democrat politician, and all of you have consistently called this man a horrendous amount of names. Fascist, threat to democracy, scumbag, Satan, Hitler, Nazi, let's see, Pat Pavlovich.
The Simpsons are said to have predicted it in the
This is not a drill. CNBC just confirmed live
Tribal.
all national TV now accepting Bitcoin.
The Simpsons.
This is not a drill. CNBC just confirmed live on national TV that Walmart is now accepting Bitcoin and crypto payments. All through
Round
one
one,
big hash.
fight.
This is an adoption. It's Walmart, the largest retailer in America, seeing over 150 This is how crypto wants to happen. You want to understand what crypto is. That's the problem. You have to see for yourself. Before it turns out to be check out
Final round, fight.
Stretching across the sky in the morning. Snow, not ordinary snow, but giant flakes, heavy until entire cities vanish like snow. Enemies and people step outside to the cold fire. Stare into the cats with white eyes. Internet lines snap, skyscrapers transform into icy towers that pierce the sky. Silent. They say only those who speak their names. The Simpsons predict January 19th.
I will crush you.
I mean, hey,
Tremor
Mary, I'm
wins.
sorry to get back.
Everyone who ate breakfast this morning needs to hear this. Eating 3 meals a day was created by the Rockefeller Foundation. Our ancestors didn't eat 3 times a day. If they ate 3 times a week, that was a lot. Your body is meant to be in a fasted state. Why do you heal when you sleep? Because you're fasted. Your body's able to take the energy that it normally would use, breaking down and digesting food, and instead it's putting it towards healing and feeling sick.
Faction
Don't go
battle.
to the white coat who has no idea what he's talking
Challenge
about. Go a
accepted.
36-hour fast at it. Stem cells are activated. They go to the area of injury. They go to the areas that need healing. Your body thrives in a fasted
Leatherface.
state. Don't buy into the 3 meals a day.
Tremor.
It was created to keep you fat, lazy, and relying on the Rockefeller system. Never should obesity be installed.
Shark Tank wasn't ready to hear that we sold over 100,000 units in just 6 months without them. When we told them we had a medical-grade laser cap that could reverse hair loss without drugs or surgery.
And right here is Rome.
Round 1. Fight.
Look at him. Like this. He's power right now. So now why are we going to taste? I've never had a grown man take me to Starbucks for a date.
Round 2.
What is this?
Fight.
That's the last time I saw Eric, Kate, and Ashley. By the way, that's because their animal teacher did a little bit of time, and they are going to recognize them, meeting their babies, asking questions. If you haven't seen the ad, take a look at this. That is the Olsen twins, featured in a Louis Vuitton ad. Does that look like the Olsen twins?
Damn, I ain't fucked up.
Stay alive.
Oh, shit.
Fight.
Okay, I have nothing going on. This was the Olsen twins, Mary, Kate, and Ashley. If they didn't see their names, listen. Take a look. So the question once again needs to be asked: has Hollywood claimed forced pleasure? These are those things that were all lost existed. So they can see those movements in this movie Vuitton ad. So I guess my question to you is: has Hollywood claimed forced pleasures? Let me know your thoughts in the comments as to what you think is going on. And as always, I'm so
Oh, that's so fucking I hate that bullshit.
Tremor wins.
Or, as we say in our astronomy courses when we teach our kids, gravity sucks. Gravity sucks evenly. It pulls everything to the center. But then Einstein gave us a different picture. Gravity doesn't suck at all. We tell our students, we lied to you. Gravity does not pull you to the floor. Space pushes you down. Why are you sitting in your chair today? Does gravity pull you to the floor? No. There is no such thing as gravitational pull, we lied to you. The space around you is warped, and space itself is pushing you down into your chair, and that's why you're sitting in your chair today.
Why are you sitting in your chair today? Does gravity pull you to the floor? No. There is no such thing as gravitational pull. We lied to you. There is no such thing as gravitational pull.
That's a called gravity. Gravity is an emergent property of a particle system. So we can say like gravity is a second of electromagnetic.
Notice that there is a clear parallel with gravity. Newton's law of gravity, that the force, which in that case is always attracting, gravity never repels, is the product of two masses. And then you have here the gravitational constant, and again you have the distance squared. So there is an enormous parallel between the two. It's a great beauty that electricity acts in a way that is very parallel to the way that gravity works. If you compare electricity with gravity, you will see that electric forces are way more powerful than gravitational forces. If now I compare the electric force with the gravitational force,
with you.
Round one. I divide one by the other. Notice that the square downstairs. So it will easy to show that this ratio is not representative. So the electric force that's the gravitational effect. It's easy to show respect for having 802. And you bring them in the
Round two. Fight.
That acceleration that the particles experience is the electric force divided by the mass of acceleration, basis of every one. And if you take the electric force, when you take B, that's to minus 12 centimeters, 10 to minus 12 meters. Calculate this ratio of 5 centimeters, it's higher than the gravitational acceleration. The frequency is going to magnitude higher. Together. There are some tremendous forces. Well, what is called together are the nuclear forces, which we do not fully understand. But thank goodness, the nuclear forces are not part of 802. So I'll leave that alone for now. So what holds our world together? Well, on the nuclear scale, 10 to the minus 12 centimeters, very important are the nuclear forces. On an atomic scale, up to thousands of kilometers, it's really electric forces that hold our world together.
It's really electric forces that hold our world together.
He knows I'm not impressed. Yeah, walk away, big guy.
Faction battle.
This man is asking the public a very simple question. He says McDonald's sells 6.5 million burgers in a single day, yet he has never seen any massive cow farms, cow rearing centers, or large slaughter facilities where huge numbers of cows are killed.
He knows I'm not impressed. Yeah, walk away, big guy.
This man is asking the public a very simple question. He says McDonald's sells 6.5 million burgers in a single day, Yet he has never seen any massive cow farms, cow rearing centers, or large slaughter facilities where huge numbers of cows are kept and killed to produce all that meat.
So,
Round
I was
one.
curious
Fight.
because I found this online. McDonald's sells 6.5 burgers in months. That's 195 burgers. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think that line of around every burger waiting for it to be had. I mean, seriously, do the math. You're on 41 cows like burgers. You're still eating so I started asking the film, where are all these cows? Is there some secret? Are they growing cows in labs? Or do you mean like little farmers? People scream it off. But hey, when was the last time you ever saw a cow by this
Tulsi Gabbard has unveiled shocking new evidence that former President Barack Obama's top aides in the Obama administration conspired to subvert President Trump's 2016 election victory alongside the democratic will of the American people, while publicly pretending to engage in a peaceful transfer of power. In private, former President Obama reads in nefarious links to try to sow discord among the public and sabotage his successor, President Trump. The new evidence released by the Director of National Intelligence, who is here with me today, confirms that the Obama administration manufactured politicized intelligence, which was later used as the justification for baseless smears against President Trump in an effort to try to delegitimize his victory before he even took the oath of office. The truth is that President Trump never had anything to do with Russia, and the Russia collusion cult was a massive fraud perpetuated on the American people from the very beginning. And the worst part of this is Obama knew that truth, and so did all of the other corrupt officials involved in this scam, including former CIA Director John Brennan, former Director of National Intelligence David Clapper, former FBI Director James Comey, former Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, and many others. Director of National Intelligence Gabbard's report further confirms what we already knew. There was no collusion.
Faction battle.
One of the biggest cosmetic brands, designer cosmetic brands in the world, their ex-formulator had contacted us. She said, quote unquote, cosmetic industry is destroying women's cells. C-E-L-L-S, cells. And I said to him, why don't you say something? He said, I can't.
This cosmetics issue is even bigger than the tobacco industry. Because we're talking about thousands of different chemicals.
The same chemicals being dumped and running through the rivers that are toxic are running through our blood.
For some of these chemicals, millions of children will be harmed before we actually decide whether it's toxic or not.
Skincare, hair, feminine care products have been associated with reproductive problems, ovarian cancer, preterm birth, mercury poisoning, endocrine disruption.
Right now, I'm going to the story time as well. If you live in Texas and you're into some cheap insurance, keep watching if you're going to want to see this video. My daughter is going to school soon, and I finally found this car and picked it up. It sat in her driveway for weeks because we couldn't find insurance in Texas for under $150 from others. So when she sent me a quote she found, I was, of course, I had to make sure it was legit. So I asked her, where did you find this? She was scrolling through Facebook last week and she stumbled upon a company called Auto. Apparently, she had to fill out a quiz and she was accepted for a $59 loan plan.
Well, we're in it now, America. The CIA deep state plot to overthrow this great republic is already well underway. It started with the seditious six reading their CIA-given script from John Brennan. John Brennan is the one who is running the CIA currently. Because Trump is not in charge of the CIA, the FBI, the DOJ, that's why this shit's all fucked up. And they are escalating it from shooting at deep secret presidential courts in just one ramp of it. Now they've got billboards all across the country. And the troops that disobey orders, there are troops making looking at saying like, oh, we're moving place, and that's it. Those are illegal orders. And he said it's not illegal orders. But
there's too many dumb people out there. They are going to keep ramping this up. They are going to force Trump to respond, and Trump has responded by locking down immigration. This is exactly what he needs to do, and he's got to go harder. All those green cards, deporting everybody, but the left is going to use that, right?
Tribal wins.
Don't want women harassing fucking ICE agents like, you gotta have a warrant. No, ICE doesn't operate under warrants. They're not cops, you fucking morons. They operate under legal deportation orders. There's no fucking warrants to that shit. We gotta get all these criminals out. We gotta get all these fucking immigrants out because, like we've been saying forever, these are military age men here to cause problems, and they're already being activated. This is gonna continue to escalate. Trump is gonna have to fucking go hard. Ignore all of his. He's been fucking hoodwinked by a lot of fucking commie motherfuckers in his cabinet that are deep state fucks that think they can fucking make this omelet without breaking some eggs. Eggs are gonna have to be broken. The left doesn't give a fuck. This is a fight to the death. Either the deep state's gonna win, or Trump and America is gonna win. And there's no way around it. Like, we're gonna fucking go to blows over this shit. One way or another, it's going to keep ramping up. Trump is going to be forced to react. That's what they want. They're prodding their people to try to attack ICE, get some kind of violence. They want some George Floyd martyr event where they can cry and rile up everybody and be like, oh, you can do this, and they're going to succeed. The Civil War movie, that's their fucking plot. John Podesta's fucking emails about their fucking plan to create a race-based civil war. That's what they want. That movie was predictive programming. That's where they want this to go. Like, one way or another, shit's gonna come off the rails. The people that are like, oh, nothing's gonna happen. It's already
Aaron
happening.
Black.
It's already happening.
Tribal.
Smart rollout of this coup, and they don't even give a fuck. It doesn't even look like the media's bet red in on it. Because they're fucking talking to that bald CIA motherfucker Mark Kelly. There's talk about the Pentagon investigating some military tribunals. Like, you better move. This is thick, you know. It's going to be forced to find himself. It's going to be forced to act on the left. It's going to be a violation. It's going to be that's what it is. It's going to be fucking all of this. AI generated fucking currencies. Slavery, you're all going to 50 years old. Based slavery. I'll keep our enemies stay educated. Don't react. Hopefully, Trump this be fucking
Round 2. Fight.
The gun is the best out there. Smell the gun.
The people. Camera is literally after a big piece of the people because it destroyed Seattle, Washington, states to the back. You can see that whole space. This camera the near that space. You can zoom in on the star and see that yes, it's like this light. It's just light. It's like water, light should drip water. Let's see how far this boat is. 23 miles. I believe there should be over 350 feet of curves. And I don't think that boat was 350 feet tall. Again, the Nikon camera destroying the spinning space ball. We live on a flat, level plane. Water is not curving. This is so cool. I just happened to think of this and look it up.
Nikon camera, Nico, victory of the people, because everyone eventually will know we are on a flat, level plane created by God.
There are moments in American politics when the ground doesn't just shake, it breaks. And in Minnesota, over the past few days, the break has been loud enough to rattle Washington, terrify Ilhan Omar's inner circle, and trigger one of the most aggressive federal responses we've seen in years. Because what investigators uncovered wasn't just fraud. It wasn't just corruption. It wasn't even just another welfare scandal. It was something far darker. Minnesota taxpayer money traced into the hands of a foreign terrorist organization. And the moment President Trump got free, he didn't hesitate. He didn't stall. He ordered what's someone calling a direct federal takeover of the situation, including an immediate termination of protected status for nearly 1,000 foreign nationals. And when Ilhan Omar heard it, her reaction said everything. The panic, the denial, the collapse. Today, we're going to break down exactly what happened, why Minnesota erupted, how the fraud was tied to terror, and why Trump's response is sending shockwaves through the globe. So let me walk you through this step by step. What's important right now is the Minnesota story. It's a turning point for the entire country. You know, when I first heard about this, my initial thought was, how does something this big stay hidden for so long? How do you have fraud at this scale, with this many people involved, and it doesn't trigger alarms earlier? And then you start looking at the details, and you realize this wasn't active. This wasn't two bad actors. Investigators finally connected the dots. They didn't just find stolen the system that was funneling American taxpayer money overseas, straight into territories controlled by one of the most dangerous terrorist groups in East Africa. Think about that for a second. Programs designed to help hungry kids, seniors who need housing support, families struggling to make ends meet, all of it getting hijacked and redirected. Not just stolen for personal gain, although there's plenty of that too, but actually flowing into the hands of people who actively want to harm us. Now, the scale of what we're talking about here is staggering. Federal prosecutors have filed charges against somewhere between 70 and 80 individuals so far, and we're not talking about small-time theft. The total amount involved, well over $250 million. Let that sink in. $250 million, maybe more, taken from programs meant to feed children and house vulnerable Americans. And here's the thing that really gets me. This wasn't a sophisticated, high-tech operation. It wasn't hackers breaking into secure databases or masterminds manipulating complex financial instruments. It was simpler than that. And in some ways, that makes it worse. Because it means the systems we have in place, the safeguards we assume are protecting taxpayer money, they just weren't working. Or maybe they were working more. Let me give you an example of how brazen this whole thing was. There was one operation they called it Safari Restaurant that claimed to be serving thousands of meals every single day. We're talking about feeding what would amount to a small army of children 7 days a week. But when investigators looked at their actual food expenses, barely a couple $1,000s. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried to feed a large group of people, but I can tell you, you can't feed an army on that kind of budget. You just can't. The math doesn't work.
Round one.
This guy's fight. It created the appearance of a legitimate operation.
This woman, she was household. She bought out every single one of them. And it's expected everyone to do right. Some people some people even said that she shouldn't be in fact, one person, this person right here, said that she was unchristian-like. And she pointed the finger, judged her. She was neutral. Everybody else did that. Come to find out that this woman didn't say anything. And her day whatever, probably defend herself. To find out, she was actually out here feeding the homeless. She moved every single one of those chickens to feed the people who didn't have any money, any means, or any family. And she gave them out. Anyone who gave them chickens, some food, and soda. Sometimes, when you're on a mission from God, it means that the whole world will be against you. They don't know what God's put in your heart. That doesn't mean that you are against the world. It means you must stand in your conviction, because even so-called Christians who say that you are unchristian-like lesson to not jump to conclusion and judgment right away without having to know the facts.
Still glad you were born? Kung Jin win.
After what I just learned, I will never let my baby girl wear Crocs again. Crocs, most foam shoes, are made of petrochemical-based EVA foam. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but when they heat up in the sun, you're at the beach, you're in the park, it's hot out, they all gas these toxic chemicals, phthalates, VOCs, and even PFASs. And kids, they absorb so much through their skin, especially through the soles of their feet. Here's the kicker. In traditional Chinese medicine, the feet have about 60 energy points connected to the brain, the heart, the liver, the kidneys. Her feet matter to me. Her health matters. And foam footwear is not worth the risk. So instead, we choose natural breathable materials, leather, cork, and organic soles. Protect your kid from the ground up. I'm Drew Canoli, and here's my promise. I'm not going to stop until I transform 100 million people and help them break free from the matrix of manufactured sickness. Send me a video throwing away your Crocs, and I'll pick somebody to win some Organifi Sheila J.
Hey, co-pilot, you see my portfolio? Help me write with mine.
Absolutely. Jenna's known for her dynamic blend of brutalism and vibrant colors.
Action battle.
Jenna's designs are a dance of structure and whimsy.
I like that.
The 3 herbs that kill them all, whether it's the eggs or the meat or it's your carrier.
Leatherface.
These are all the complicated little stages.
Jason
Are
Bourne.
a worthless combination, which is easy to get, a ground cold preparation, which is also easy to get.
Jason
Regular
Bourne.
clothes. Out of the marketplace because that's old. They have to be fresh. Okay. And the third one is an extract of the green hull of the black walnut tree. Now these 3 together. Together. You have to use them together because you have to kill everything at once. Otherwise, once they're turned into the next. That was the amazing and that's why it's that when you kill them, all that factor is negative. The non-sensible factors need to be removed.
Round 2. Fight.
Here's what I almost never hear you talk about fasting, because everybody started doing it. There's no problem. There's nothing. Dietitians, nutritionists, doctors would all go out of business. Think about it. Fasting doesn't need a powder, a pill, or a prescription. It is literally subtraction, not eating for a certain period of time, and yet it is one of the most powerful metabolic
Leatherface wins. Fatality.
insulin levels will drop. Your body switches into fat burning and cellular cleanup. Autophagy kicks in your body, literally starts recycling damaged cells. It is like your body hit that reset button that no supplement can do for you. Truth is, fasting heals because it gives your body space to do what it was designed to do. God built your body to repair itself, but the modern world keeps us eating spiking glucose and insulin, silencing the natural repair system. There is no money in teaching people how to heal themselves. That is exactly why you need to do this, because it's the most powerful therapy you'll ever use.
There's that opposed to that thing that's called fasting.
Thanks, I passed back.
Oh.
Just wanted to go like randomly pick a toy. Nobody looks at a toy like that. These three men were constantly following us throughout the store. Everywhere I would turn, they would be like staggered within 1 or 2 aisles away from us. At one point, I turned my back. I'll catch the video. I turned my back and I looked and he was right there and we made eye contact. I looked at him and I said, "Are you following me?" And he looked at me dead in the eyes and he said, "You're following me." As I was calling him out, his buddy was coming around to block my friend in the same aisle that we were in. Because we were not being diligent of what was happening around us. I fear we would not be here today. We were leaving the store. We booked it to our car, and as soon as we got in our car, out come one of the guys into the van, pulled it directly in front of our car. It was within seconds of us getting in our car. Another little crazy backstory. My friend and I initially pulled in to the store where 2 girls pulled in directly, like diagonally from us, and there was a cart behind their car. And they could not get out of their car until this cart was really like girls. Literally, like, get out of the car, the cart, mercy, not getting out. Her car, and those guys bought into that part behind her car so they could not
press release, JP Morgan Chase forbids modern gold trading desk that handles billions of dollars every day in New York. Singapore. This is not an expansion. This is an escape. 15 plus traders and families both agents by the end of last week. The link email remains on Comex Health Asia Pacific by the end of the week. Gold is now trading at $1,656 an ounce, up $54 just today. JP saw Pennington delivered $4 billion in physical gold and bullion against New York futures price this month alone. Biggest physical delivery since 2008. Has no gold import tariffs. Is friendly with BRICS nations and JP Morgan's Women's Bank.
Final round, fight.
And JP Morgan's private bank. There is exploding within multiplied network of clients moving money out of the United States. JP Morgan has checked by gold exchange in March and has been building deep ties with China's gold market ever since.
Feel the chill of despair. Sub-Zero wins.
Well, the Epstein files have been released, and it's just a whole clusterfuck dump that they did. A bunch of bullshit in there, but Jeffrey Epstein's emails are in there, but they're uncorrelated. It's just a big mess. People are digging through them. The best thing, Ian Carroll and his buddy have built some kind of AI-assisted program that is sifting through and correlating everything and organizing all the emails. Once that thing is fucking up and running, and we're gonna learn some shit, because what people have already dug out of it, the emails between Epstein and Ehud Barak. Epstein is setting up deals and meetings between Putin and Ehud Barak. Ehud Barak's previous prime minister of Israel. And he's trying to profit off of the civil war in Syria. He's talking with Jeffrey Epstein about how to make money off of the civil war in Syria. And it's not that Jeffrey Epstein is working for Ehud Barak. It's like the other way around. And Ehud Barak is like asking Jeffrey Epstein for help. And even crazier than that shit, you've got the Rothschilds emailing Jeffrey Epstein, and at one point, there's an email where they ask him, one of the Rothschilds emails Jeffrey Epstein, it's like, hey, can you give me some call? I need some help. Jeffrey Epstein blows him off, and it's like, no, I got some shit going on, and I don't have time for that right now. Who the fuck is Jeffrey Epstein to blow off the Rothschilds? Moreover, in that shit back and forth, the Rothschilds and Ehud Barak are in some kind of fucking battle with Jeffrey Epstein against Benjamin Netanyahu. Basically, Benjamin Netanyahu has seized control of Israel from the Rothschilds, and they're trying to fight and get it back. I think this is part of the reason we see so much wild chaos in the world right now. And wild as Israel shit is just coming to a fucking head. It's like these two factions fighting behind the scenes trying to fucking wrestle power. And, you know, what a fucking golden goose, because obviously Israel just fucking has access to all of the U.S. tax dollars, and they're all trying to get in on it. This is the chaos in the world. The globalist cabal doesn't act with one head anymore. It seems to be that there are many factions all fighting for power. You've got the CIA, Mossad, fucking Rothschilds, all of them fighting with each other, and nobody seems to really be in control. It's half the reason, like, Trump has to fight fucking NATO and the libtards and the deep state and the CIA and the fucking feds and the French and the goddamn Israel and whoever's fighting for Israel, and why that shit looks like such a weird flip-flop. Like, why sometimes it's fucking like, stop that fucking shit, you can't have the West Bank, but then this and fuck that, and Yahoo needs a fucking party, and you're like, what in the fuck is going on there? Nothing makes sense. This is all total chaos. And Jeffrey Epstein's emails are showing some insight into that, and these motherfuckers, they are far more evil than you ever thought they were. But the bonus here is they cannot operate their scams out in the light. Their whole control structure isn't going to work on this anymore. Technology used properly and information that flows when the truth is out to the people, these evil motherfuckers that have been scamming everybody and just bleeding us dry, that old system and that old fucking corruption will not work out in the light. We are already crossing those boundaries. Like, something is going to happen here. Either they have to beat us back into submission, or we are going to take our power back. There's the only two options here. The more you learn, the more in danger we are of another 9/11 fucking, but it's gonna be more wild than 9/11. That's the only way it works, because another 9/11, and nobody's gonna fall for that, right? So what are they gonna do? Because their power is slipping away. We are seizing it back. No one trusts anybody in the media anymore. We have each other now. We have these little boxes, and we have the information. We know the truth, and we're finding out more every day. We are going to wrestle this world back from these evil pedo motherfuckers, and it's gonna be a wild fucking shit show. Or they're gonna kill us all. Then who knows what's gonna happen? What a wild time to be alive, right? I love you all. Keep noticing things. Long live this beautiful republic.
I thought we'd revisit this year's flu shot. Here's the package insert. Flu Zone, 25-26 calendar year. Let's take a peek and see what's in it. Let's start with section 5.